Here's a phenomenon. The most trusted institution for Hispanics in the United States is my employer. And this is a huge change. It's really important that trust has become local. And the new expectation, therefore, is that CEOs will stand up and speak up on race, on diversity, on pay, on training. Also, very fundamental, 2/3 of Hispanics, more than any other group in American minorities, are afraid of losing their jobs in the next decade to automation. The same 2/3 are afraid that they're not getting sufficient training to keep up. So automation for them is something to be afraid of, not something to welcome. So when you talk about tech and the promise of tech, it's also the fear of tech. The last thing I want to say about Hispanics is that trust of Hispanics is the most volatile of all the groups that we follow. It's much more affected by current events. You saw the low trust scores in part because of the way the administration talks about Hispanics, but it has a knock-on effect on business. Listen to this. This is very important. Hispanics of all the minority groups are the least trusting in business because they don't think that business has stepped up. And there's also a tremendous gap between Latinas and Latinos. It's 15 points. Women are much less trusting in business in the Latin community than men. They just feel not paid well enough, not promoted well enough, and not regarded well enough in terms of being safe at work. Last point about the Hispanic community. Of all the communities, this year we found the biggest jump in terms of news engagement. And it's not just that Hispanics are reading, it's also that they're sharing. It's the first time that we've followed that amplifiers, people who read and then share, are larger in numbers than just people who read content. That implies that Hispanics are inherently not just wanting to learn something, but to share it and persuade others. So as you consider your communications campaign, do consider those who are influencers and amplifiers as a key audience. So trust matters, and my employer, local trust, is the number one thing, and the CEOs have got to stand up and speak up. Thank you.